let's toss it over to the game as we're already inside of a fight. Hybrid landing over at staging should be contested. We know other teams that like to drop over here, and this is actually... Oh lord, I did curse myself, didn't I? It's countdown. I literally said this at the start of the... I literally said it at the start of the day. I know.
Yeah, so before we got into the day, Dia was like, I'm putting a lot of work to make sure I don't mess up where these places are, and I don't mix up countdown and staging. And immediately, Dia cast her curse. You know how it is.
It's true. I was looking forward to where other teams land. Unfortunately, well, Hybrid has landed alongside an unknown as of yet. We'll see if they're able to scout anybody else. As soon as those knocks come through, that's when we really get the data. But we already have it, interestingly enough, thanks to our observers. Thank you so much. As Gas Station Gaming, running an interesting composition, I will say, making their return. Now with a Lifeline, a Valkyrie, and a Wraith. This is definitely a comp that wants to style on people, that wants to be able to take those high-risk fights. However, it doesn't seem like right now they're too keen on taking the risk into what we already know is Hybrid over a countdown.
Yeah, Hybrid got the drop on them, got a lot of really good shields and loot, so that was not a fight that they really wanted to take. You don't want to drop down, have all white shields and go up against a team that has some purples and blues. So making the right call to get themselves out of there and into a safer spot, you know, that's great call by them. I'm curious about the Lifeline because I have not seen anybody really running the Lifeline, and ever since the removal of that shield from the revive, it feels like it's lost its competitive edge. Because that was such a great fight staller, and now it just is a big target on your back as soon as you try to bring somebody up.
Yeah, it's very difficult to actually res people safely. I think the one time that I really have seen Lifeline used effectively was when we had a pro tournament for the Red Cross, and everybody was required to run at least one Lifeline. And let me tell you, those were some chaotic fights that we ended up getting because they extend for so long when Lifeline is constantly picking people back up. However, this, I would say, innovation meta is, for right now, just on Gas Station Gaming. Over with Team Nerf, a recently partnered team over at Esports Arena. They have got themselves pretty nicely set up, and will start moving over towards our circle in the northwest, while RCO, still in their landing spot over at Fisher, are trying to set themselves up for success in future fights. If you don't have data, and if you've got plenty of time with the zone coming to you, it's always a good choice to craft, because you're going to have so many extra resources when it does come to that first engagement that might just be with underrated.
Yeah, or though underrated, maybe just looking to try and get out. Yeah, they do not want to take this fight. Gas Station, though, are in the middle of a fight right now, stuck into this tunnel here, trying to get out into the ruined train yard. Rest in peace.
They found themselves right near where Dab liked to land, and that one is over at staging. They would have been coming up potentially through the tunnel underneath Landslide and in towards potentially this high ground. So Gas Station Gaming still, I would say, very much understanding the Lifeline now, is at least that'll be your way of getting yourself blue shields later on. Haven't actually fallen just yet, but do put themselves in a riskier and riskier position. Let's not forget that as they go for the scan, they don't have a Gibraltar were they to be picked on, and that's not just important now, but it's going to be important all throughout this game.
Yeah, Gibraltar has been so huge throughout all of these matches and has been a competitive staple for a long time just because of that dome and the ultimate as well. So many great things about Gibraltar for a competitive meta. So I'm really surprised that of all the things that they wanted to get rid of, as we do see Team Inferno fighting,
oh, and it's Team Dab as well, one of the squads that lands over at staging. However, it might be where they go out as well. That caustic gas is going to buy you a lot of time as Blight really lays down the hurt. And with one knock already by Dracos, this is certainly winnable. Even more gas canisters just funneling in here somehow. The caustic gas is going to end up taking down Tide, and Dab may very well win this fight yet. Shotguns out and ablaze, and they've got Phoenix back in here, and they are not intimidated by the initial knock, instead taken out of squad.
Yeah, and that is an incredibly well-played fight there by Blight, getting that gas down and immediately just poking him out, giving the time for his teammate to get that Gibraltar back up and get back into the fight. And not only just doing that, but also just poking them constantly. Because the gas was taking them, you could see where they were trying to hide. And hiding in that corner when you're stuck in gas taking damage from it does not hide anything.
Unfortunately not, and well, with RCO showing up on the third party, I'm putting in air quotes, they won't have the time to reset. Instead, Dab will have to leave, but they did still get that initial 3 KP. It is going to end up stacking up into permanent points for them later on. Will Gas Station Gaming still wander around looking desperately for shields? They ended up collecting one of the world drops of the care package, and now have a Spitfire to maybe start to level up those Evos. Icy gets his level, but now gets chunked out as well. Start a fight, I believe, on the other side of this, and this is a squad that you do not want to mess with, but it seems like they don't want to mess with you either.
Yeah, I don't think, Gas Station Gaming were about to get pincered there, but I don't think they really realized how kind of in a rough spot Gas Station Gaming are. I like this move, though, just using that Valkyrie ult to get over the tunnel, back, and now they are no longer the pincered team. They are doing the pincing instead, and now we'll be trying to poke out this team. And I would think once one of these teams realizes, oh, hey, they've got very low shields, they don't have the shields to fight this, we can push, that's when the real action is going to start.
Already with Crummy walking up on this Gibraltar, incredibly difficult to take down off the nice beam that Aves set him up with. You end up taking control of a landslide on Start a Fight, and for the moment, this is what they're going to try and hold on to. It is incredibly open, especially from their backs, and I want Start a Fight to be keeping an eye out for RCO that could come up from behind or underneath them. However, for now, I can't say that I don't like it, and I really, really like that. Nice shots from Crummy, once again, asserting his dominance up on top of this cart.
Yeah, just keeping space here, making sure that nobody can push forward here. Eclectic actually getting in a fight now.
And that's with Transatlantic Gaming. Claybert ends up going down first. Big problem, as they no longer have the zoning provided by this Caustic. Eclectic still at full HP, going to be able to reset inside the bubble and pop themselves right over the wall, taking the fight once again into the faces of Transatlantic Gaming. However, with Jelly getting knocked and Locks going low, a defensive bombardment on the outside as well. Tag do go down, but they do a lot of damage on the way, setting up for Eclectic's potential demise. Jelly is going to get thirsty by the ring, and Eclectic are going to have to recover, potentially getting that banner, but even that seems a little unlikely.
Yeah, it really depends here. They've got to stay and fight in this ring if they want to get that banner, and that does not feel good when you are down to two people.
They just had a Valk yesterday. There's no way to get out at this point. Tap Strafers, they are all over him, and Eclectic will be leaving us in 16th place. No placement points off of that. Fortunately, they've got a few KP to keep themselves healthy in the scoreboards moving on forward. Top 15 now, however, start collecting those placements inherently just by being alive. You can get yourself to a greater scoring perspective, and Tap Strafers are already doing that so well. Can be able to heal up right now while literally vibing. They are going on a push, and I want to see how well this works out for him as Crummy on the other side gets stuck in the tunnel. This time it's Start a Fight that ends up getting pincered, and on both sides, Matt Pickett wants to fight his way out a sick crack with that triple take. Starts dealing the damage, but hasn't finished anybody off just yet and still has so much pressure applied to him.
Yeah, getting people from both sides now, and while it was a great headshot, it's just going to be for buying time. It is not going to be to actually get a knock, as they are going to have to pick a team to fight.
Matt is picking that team, and he is going hard. Almost ends up taking somebody down, turning hard with the Prowlers. Dome down on the other side of the tunnel. Somehow, Start a Fight have started two and are winning both. Unless Aves goes down here, they should actually feel pretty comfortable, but literally vibing are pushing in on them slowly and steadily, not giving up any unnecessary kills. They find Flesh, but they're still playing so conservatively, and let's not forget, that Dome is going to come back up on Start a Fight.
Yeah, it's very rough, though, because they don't have a way to get out of here. They can't, Valk ult. They can't try and get out in that way. They're trying to find some access back out of here, but they are just stuck in this tunnel and literally vibing, maybe looking to go for the push now.
Now pushing up and start a fight. We know with Crummy on 25 HP. Matt Pickett right beneath. They're going to try and ult out of here, and I love the moves, but it may just be a little bit too late. Aves is going to try and survive, but Light is right on his tail. This guy, not quite connecting, gets a few at the end there, but means Aves is able to survive for the moment. Literally vibing. They're going to settle for that initial bit of KP with Crummy still alive somehow.
Yeah, because they focused so hard on that Valkyrie, they just took Matt Pickett down, and now, yeah, Crummy is just hiding out there. I don't think they realize that Crummy's still back there. Oh,
no, they don't, but, no, well, Nerf do, and literally vibing now know that Nerf is right in front of them. Again, really nice beams from Light, but this is a fight that I don't think they want to take. They haven't had the time to properly reset. They've got Aves as Deathbox behind them to re-up on a few of those resources that they lost, and crucially, they're still inside the ring, and they have a Valkyrie if they really need to get over this wall. But fighting on repeat seems like it's not the move for them.
Yeah, and I think Nerf are going to respect that. They're going to back out and be A-okay here. So now it is just going to be the reset all around. Nerf, though, they're not done. They're getting poked at from somebody.
And they've lost the high ground inside of Landslide, one of the things that can snowball on you, especially as the squads that really need that positioning. RCO, a squad that's taking positioning, whether they need it or not. Up here, Sleepy Panda again is going in 1v3, finds Flesh, and this is what makes this player so incredible. Forces everybody out on the portal. RCO now dominant over the high ground and inside of the next ring as well, fighting a war on two fronts, and much like Start a Fight from earlier, seem to be doing just fine enough in both of them. We'll see if they end up meeting the same fate. As now, with that tether thrown out, Sleepy Panda's taking angles once again. Initially, the knock comes in from Yoroi, or onto Yoroi rather, and now Sleepy Panda just gets the chance to flank around you, find those additional kills. Glow is not going to get the chance to get that bat off, and it's going to be 2 more KP at least going in the favor of RCO.
Absolutely, yeah. Sleepy Panda, this is the aggression we love to see coming through. Sleepy Panda is in the ring trying to get that last kill. Oh my goodness, yeah. That push into that train car done specifically because that grenade popped and making sure to get that pressure, and there was never any time. Sleepy Panda stayed on the aggressive side and made sure they could not heal back up. Really smart move by Sleepy Panda, and only able to be done because of how much of a great trigger finger Sleepy Panda has.
He's really going insane right now. This is interesting. Watch Stick Drift OP. They've just sent their one Valkyrie up into the sky to do a little bit of scouting. This is not a solo. This is a tactical maneuver to get a feel of the rest of the map right now, and if they've got ultimate accelerants, they can reposition themselves very rapidly. On top of this hill, outside of Harvester, Stick Drift actually have a really good position, and I love this use of their resources, because information is everything in Apex Legends.
Absolutely. That, and when you are running the Valkyrie, you're using her as your scanner, essentially, because you have the Gibraltar and the Caustic. You don't have something like a Bloodhound to be able to see across the rest of the map and scan through and keep eyes on people. When you're already set up in a spot and you're like, all right, we're not moving here, we're not planning on going anywhere, I'm totally down for them to use that Valkyrie in that way and make sure they know where all of these squads are.
DWTT on an aggressive move, or rather defensive move with the Q right now, seem to be getting themselves inside of the truck, and will be able to do so safely enough. We got a tease of the next ring, though, and I don't believe that they are in it. So with that information, they're going to end up taking to the skies. Another good move, but the problem for them now becomes, where do you actually find a safe place to land?
Yeah, a lot of these spots are already being held here, and DWTT trying to get over into this area. I don't know about this move.
This is looking risky right now. We know RCO are right next door as well, and though DWTT don't have that inherent knowledge, they should definitely be worried about it, especially with Chase already chunked out below that half health mark. No shields now, but it seems like for the time being, our focus is elsewhere. At least until he starts shooting at them, and now their attention is right on DWTT and the squad that they can gatekeep from getting into this next ring.
Yeah, and this ring is going to be closing here, so they are going to have to move. You can see the next ring is going to be pushing them further in. While they'll be okay for the next little bit, it is going to be a spot that they need to leave within the next minute and a half here.
and they won't have Portal to be able to do so. DWTT, very difficult spot. No Valkyrie ult, no Portal, and as of right now, I like what Demi Chase is doing, getting a little bit of space with that Wraith to scout out if some of these carts are going to be free for them to enter, because carts at this point are the cover that you absolutely need, permanent sorts of ways to reset, and with RCO again right in front of them, there's a chance that this gets punished really heavily. Thankfully enough, Silent does work with that Hemlock.
Yeah.
Look at the flank, look at the flank.
Ooh, yeah. They're trying to get around here because that high ground is really hurting RCO. They want to stop this. Ooh, boy. Yeah, this is very risky for RCO because they also need to move, and they have to go through DWTT.
The defensive bombardment is a really nice move to be able to stall, but Sleepy Panda, now shieldless, will have a lot of healing to do, and unfortunately not a lot of safe space to do it. Thankfully, that defensive bombardment cleared the air for long enough that he's able to survive with 5 HP, but now still healing up, and now, like you talked about, with the team in front of them as well, RCO still don't find themselves in too much easier of a spot, walking it in towards that next ring, 30 seconds on its close, and BAMKlick wants to go forward here, has the flatline in hip fire, and again, it is a Portal in this very same cart that takes yet another squad away from RCO.
Yeah, absolutely. RCO, they've got the firepower. They've got the ability to just blow people up. Speaking of, holy crap, DWTT, you see Hierarchy there just popping people. Making sure, yeah, that you want to thirst for that one. Do not let them get inside that building. And another KP going over to DWTT.
Nightmare were up there, and now down one member. Do have the res beacon if they want to try for that very, very risky maneuver, but they've got a squad flying in right over them, and thank God for the cover fire of DWTT. We'll see how this ends up working out. It's going to be a skirmish on the high ground that DWTT could take advantage of. Let's not forget that RCO are going to be going in there as well, but Nightmare will not be joining them. Nice takedown from Tap Strafers on the low ground, and in this ravine, it may look risky, but it's one of the best spots inside this ring.
Yeah, and now Hybrid, they are just stuck here fighting a bunch of teams, but oh my goodness, the Rampage.
It's just from the back. You're just getting absolutely decimated. You have no real safety in Nerf. They've got the ring at their backs instead, so they ultimately win that 3v3, move themselves into the end game as now 9 squads remain in our penultimate ring. A nice crack of 99 comes in off of Nando, but BAMKlick does get taken down. It's the push or nothing for RCO, and it's looking like their hands are going to come up empty as last member left alive may be able to stick a res, but it is extraordinarily risky inside of this cart. I'm just going to push them forward right now, but with BAMKlick back and the gold backpack, RCO could make a comeback here.
Yeah, and there are reses here that they can do. They just need to be able to get that banner. Gold backpack really doing work there, and that building keeping them safe from all of that missile fire coming down outside.
I love the ultimate accelerants as well. It's going to get you into a better place for the end game. The Stick Drift OP are going to struggle to be in. They've got that dome down on top of them, but with Exo so low, we talk about how risky this high ground is, and this is the prime example. There are so many eyes on you, and now it seems like they may still be able to get their teammates up. 26 seconds until that ring starts closing, and we'll see if this works out for them. Nerf, in the meanwhile, have another power position here. This low ground is deceptively strong when it comes to end games.
Absolutely, and I'm not sure exactly where the ring is going to be closing here, as we are not able to see so in the map as of right now, but I'm assuming they're probably going to have to move out of this here, and that is a bit of a risky rotation because they don't have a whole lot of areas to go into. As now we're seeing another scouting Valkyrie coming through. Teams are going to start moving.
I'm really not sure about that Valkyrie. I am X to doubt on that Valkyrie. With 3 people taking to the skies there, it feels like a desperate maneuver to buy time. And, well, at the very least, you may be able to save yourself before RCO go down. However, with the rest of them still up for right now, Tap Strafers seem to be the ones under fire, and it is Nerf from this low ground that are just farming the entire lobby as they get pushed from everywhere. Turns has picked up 4 kills so far, 6 kill participation, and Nerf still playing this very conservatively, knowing that there are 4 squads, maybe exposing themselves to quite a bit of risk. They can hear the fire going on in front of them, but I want to see them push up to this truck, take the space that, well, they still can, before the lobby turns on them.
Yeah, last round coming up here. As teams are just going to be trying to hide here. They may try and move. I want to see one team move early. Turns, buddy.
That was a good bubble. Oh my lord. Honor Fearing Live for that bubble, because otherwise Turns may very well have gone down in the crossfire of not one, but two squads. But now you've bought enough time that Dab have started to take away at the likes of RCO down there on the low ground. And it really is that fight between Dab and Nerf. RCO still in it, make no mistake, but it is going to be so difficult for them to succeed. And with us now officially down to the 3 squads, as Demi Chase, our rat, ended up going out. This is really going to be an end game for the history books. In midair, Blight is trying to trigger these gas traps, get a little bit more pressure down as Dab work with the high ground that they inherently have. It's them versus Nerf with the 2-man of RCO in the middle.
I was going to say, RCO are running 1 man down, so they are at a major disadvantage. Whoever pulls this trigger first is going to be in a bit of a rough spot here. You never want to be the person that starts off the fight, because you're putting resources in while one team is just waiting for that fight to end. Now Dab, they could just poke out for free here. They are just sitting pretty, and Nerf are gonna have to make a bit of a hard call here. Do they push this out? Do they try and go early, or do they wait for the ring to force them out?
But look at what Dab just did. They had to give up so much ground because their Gibby had dropped to the low ground. Just now he's coming down, and nobody has taken advantage of it. Nobody even knows that this has gone on, because Nerf and RCO were looking at each other the entire time. Hindsight is going to be 20/20 for this if these guys end up losing the game. Right now, under siege. Fearing going to be slowed right now, but it's more about the ring damage. It is a choice of which one you're going to take, and Dab are just prioritizing this perfectly. Fearing Live is so low and has that bubble, but is saving it because he who bubbles first will die first. Bubble goes up on the high ground, and it gives Nerf the ability to at least use theirs to try and reset for now. Do not forget about RCO on this low ground, though, because they are so silent, and they could be deadly.
Absolutely, yeah. They are smart about this. They know that they can't win this fight in a fair fight. Oh, now they're getting pushed on, though.
And now Nerf have signed their death warrants. They push onto RCO, end up losing a member, and from here on, it's the cleanup for Dab. No question about this. They drop onto the low ground, and after putting both squads in a no-win scenario, Dab are going to end up taking the win. Beautifully orchestrated endgame, excellent mid-game, and I'm super impressed with what we've already seen in the first game of the qualifier.